Welcome back to Pastry Maestra. I'm Teresa and today I'm making focaccia. Focaccia is Italian flatbread, often topped with coarse salt, olives or cherry tomatoes. Its origin goes back all the way to the first millennium BC. Ancient Romans, Etruscans or ancient Greeks were baking flatbread panis focacius on the hearth or on a heated tile. The word focacius is derived from focus, meaning hearth, a place for baking. In Roman time, focaccia was used as a dipping bread, usually being torn apart by hand and dipped into salty soups made quite simply from water, vinegar and possibly olive oil. In today's times, this doesn't sound very appetizing, but for people accustomed to long hours of physical labor, it provided nourishment and was a cheap and filling meal. The basic recipe for focaccia was brought to France and Spain by Romans, and it became a very popular bread primarily in less well-off areas where the people were poor. Various versions of this Italian bread can also be found in other parts of Europe and the world, like in Spain, where it is called hojaza, or even in Argentina, where it goes by the name fugassa. There are countless variations of this dish. It seems that every village in Italy has a special type of focaccia. The most extreme example is a specialty called focaccia col formaggio, or focaccia with cheese, which is made in Recco near Genoa. If the word focaccia wasn't in the name of the dish, nobody would even think of it, because this is in fact a sandwich. Because curd and cheese filling is sandwiched between two layers of paper-thin dough. Regarding technical details, it is mandatory to puncture the bread with a knife to relieve bubbling on the surface. Also common is the practice of dotting the bread. The baker creates multiple wells in the bread using a finger or a handle of a utensil. As a way to preserve moisture in the bread, olive oil is then spread over the dough. Savory versions of focaccia are more familiar to general public. But there are also sweet recipes of focaccia containing eggs, honey, raisins, anise, sugar and lemon or orange peel. Now, since there are countless versions of focaccia, I've decided to show you how to make my favorite with cherry tomatoes, onions and oregano. I hope you like it. As usual, the recipe is on my site, the link is down below. To make my focaccia dough, I'm gonna combine water and yeast into a jug and stir until yeast dissolves. I've placed sifted flour into a bowl of a stand mixer fitted with hook attachment, and now I'm gonna add sugar and salt. I'll mix on a low speed and add yeast dissolved in water. I will continue mixing for about 10 minutes until my dough becomes smooth and uniform. My dough is nicely mixed and now it's time to gradually add olive oil and mix until all the oil is incorporated. At the end, I will add chopped onion. My dough is ready for fermentation. I'm gonna remove the bowl from the stand mixer, cover it with a cloth and leave it to ferment in warm place until doubled in volume. Here I have a 30 by 20 centimeters, which is 12 by 8 inches baking pan, which I'm gonna brush with olive oil. I'm gonna transfer my dough in the pan. I'm gonna flatten the dough with my hands. If it sticks too much, dip your fingertips in some olive oil. Now I'm gonna dock it with my fingers. I'm gonna top my focaccia with cherry tomatoes. I'll put one cherry tomato into each hole. Finally, I'm gonna sprinkle some oregano on the top. I'm gonna leave focaccia to ferment for about 10 minutes before baking. I'm gonna bake my focaccia at 200 degrees centigrade, which is 400 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 20 to 25 minutes until golden brown. My focaccia is done. I'm gonna brush it with olive oil and leave it to cool down for about 10 minutes. This is the hard part, but please be patient because I tell you, a piece of warm focaccia is literally a slice of heaven. Enjoy!
Oh baby, you are so sweet. So
All I need now
delicious
is a
and
piece of
yummy.
cheese, maybe a slice
So
of ham and a
good
glass
to
of wine.
eat.
Let the good times begin.
I wanna lick you, feel your sweetness on my lips. Forever and ever, you'll stay on my hips.
I'm Teresa. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you liked it. If you want to stay in touch, follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and of course, visit my site where you can find elaborate posts with lots of pictures, additional information and recipes that follow my every video. Also, on my site you can download my free 365 pages ebook, The Pastry Chef, and maybe buy me a macaron. If you think that I've earned it. Now, before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That really helps a lot. Finally, and this is the most important thing, don't forget to create sweetness every day, because sweetness is happiness. See you in my next video. Bye!